I'm wearing a Valiant shirt.
Nice. I'm not.
And you work for the company.
I know, it's sad.
Alright, we've been saying all year long that Valiant's amazing. One of the first books, I think it was the first book of the launch.
It was the second.
It was the second.
XO was the first.
But it was
great.
also pick of the week. Harbinger #1, and this is the man behind the new Harbinger.
Nice.
Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, I'm Josh Dysart. I write Harbinger and you know, a few other things throughout the years.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on in Harbinger.
Harbinger is kind of a youth culture book where a group of young renegades, kids really, troublemakers, people who aren't really joiners. It sounds very typical, but they're led by a kid by the name of Peter Stanchek, who is a pill-popping hyper-psychic, and they're currently battling the most powerful man in the world, which is Toyo Harada, who runs a massive corporation. So inside of this framework, we're able to talk about generational conflict, conflict between generations, the haves, the have-nots, the struggle for youth culture right now to find an identity, the struggle for corporate culture to find an identity.
So everyone just needs their identity.
Yeah, everyone's like in yeah, and so this struggle for identity actually represents itself in a bunch of stuff blowing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where can you tell us where the story's going? Because Peter just went psycho recently.
Right, yeah.
He just like woke up finally and realized, hey, people have been fucking with me my whole entire life.
That's exactly right. So Peter is very much sort of my take on what's happening with the current young generation. So Peter's been co-opted from day one. He was put into mental institutions.
Because he was different.
Because he was different. He was appropriately or inappropriately repeatedly drugged to the point of addiction. And then when it all was said and done, when he tried to acquire his freedom, he ended up being co-opted by a corporation. Right? So he's finally, literally in the last issue, he just had enough. Came to a big, violent, incredible end. And what happens next is that Peter's alone in the world against the largest corporation in the world. So he's fighting
literally the man.
He's fighting the man. Yeah. It's when we break it down like this, it all sounds very simple.
The underdog versus the man.
The man. I like to think it plays better, but but that's what it is. And so the next step is he's gonna need allies.
Right.
So what we're gonna see in issue 6, which is the very next issue, is him approaching someone who he emotionally hurt, unquestionably, in his past, and his only last surviving friend, or she doesn't view him as a friend, he perceives her as a friend.
And we got introduced to her.
We were introduced to her in an earlier issue when issue 1, where Peter did something heinous to her, which I was told by many people is not the best way to start in issue 1, is to have your protagonist do something heinous to a woman.
He was kind of a dick in the first issue.
He was a dick. He's been a dick throughout.
But you gotta understand where he's coming from also.
Precisely. I hope that readers get that, like, this is a person guarded against the whole world, and he's made very poor decisions. And a huge part of this isn't just an epic struggle against the man. It's really, more importantly, it's a struggle for Peter's personal redemption and how he can become a full-fledged human being. And
I feel like there's a lot of punk rock in Peter.
Peter, yes, Peter listens to hip hop, but the soul.
He has that punk rock, Joe Strummer, Sid Vicious,
You gotta know that. I mean, it is. I'm a third wave punk generation. Like it is the opinion of me and others of my generation that punk rock infiltrated everything. It's not just the music. It infiltrated hip hop. It infiltrated not just fashion, but
graphic design,
philosophy, like the whole culture. We're in a post-punk culture. Peter's a post-punk kid. So yeah, very much so. And that's what it is. And so his rage against man. So the next thing he's going to do is he's got to find other people who feel the way he does, or at least are willing to be involved in this conflict. He's got to build an army. Which sides are being chosen now?
Nice. And how long are you on the book for?
Till you stop reading, sir.
So don't stop reading.
At issue 100, I'm just gonna kill everybody.
There you go. You're gonna pull a Robert Kirkman. game over, done.
That's right, walking away, baby.
So what else can you tell us? Any crossovers? Because Valiant's big about linking everything up.
I will say
like
only,
we saw the Bleeding Monk.
Yes.
And we saw him also in Workshop.
And I don't know, perhaps you've seen a cover coming out from Bloodshot of the Harbinger symbol with the bullet holes in it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Okay, so it would be untrue to the spirit of the original Valiant if we did not have crossovers. Having said that, I have no comment.
Alright, so possible crossover.
Yeah.
But no comments for
That's
the time.
right, exactly.
See.
We do have a Harada Zero issue coming out.
Tell us about
the
that.
origin of Harada. So I've got a Zero issue of Harbinger coming out, and it's this. Harada is our antagonist. He's a Holocaust. I'm sorry, that's totally wrong. He's a survivor of the Hiroshima bomb.
So horrible.
My brain is like clouded right now.
This is the first day of the con, and
I know, I've only been here like 2 hours, it's sad. So he's a survivor of Hiroshima, so our story is going to be kind of the awakening of a hyper-psychic child in post-war Japan. So directly after the bomb, in our narrative, the bomb awoken in Harada his sort of his hyper-psychic powers. So we're going to get a very small child witnessing post-war Japan and sort of how that, as he's coming into his own,
Now another question, we've heard from people over at Valiant that we keep seeing one character in several Valiant books.
Yeah.
Can you give us a clue of who that is? 'Cause we haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, you have? Oh, well, I don't want to tell you if you haven't.
Well, can you
figured
give
it
us a
out.
clue?
I mean, I can tell you. I'm not good with clues. I'll
tell
say
us.
this. Well, it's obviously a character from the original Valiant universe who was an Eternal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my clue. One of the Eternal characters.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, go pick up Harbinger. Trade should be coming out.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
When does the trade come out for Harbinger for the first 5 issues? Great.
All right.
Couple of
So
months.
Here's what I'll say. X-O-Man of War comes out in December, and then we will be doing monthly trade paperbacks after that.
Okay.
So Harbinger should be the second one.
January.
There you go.
That
January
would seem-
2013.
That would seem to fit the pattern, yes.
Let's say January.
Okay. So go order it right now. I'm sure it's in previews probably. Well, it will
not.
be in previews in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
You know what?
actually, 6 is, if you haven't read it, 6 is a jumping on point.
Okay.
So, because we start a new story arc, new characters. I mean, obviously, it's richer if you've read the first 5, but I think
But you can always go back on Comicsology, pick them up.
that's right.
Yeah.
And
So-
the digital issues have a lot of extras to justify the price, too. There's a lot of beautiful stuff in the digital version.
Valiant, best publisher of the year. Come on.
Nice.
Honestly. Harbinger, go pick it up. Thank you, sir.